So the Tennessee Titans, they get a new general manager. Mike Borgonzi spoke today. Press conference there, had a few interesting things to say. A lot of it went trending on the internet, somewhat trending on the X app. I don't want to exaggerate it. But, listen, this guy's a 16-year assistant out of Kansas City, worked up through the scouting ranks. He works with the former general manager there. I want to say his name is this guy worked with John Dorsey. John Dorsey used to be the general manager of the Chiefs, had some issues. They fired him, but he's a really good eye for talent. Worked with Green Bay, also worked with Green Bay, the former, this guy that's the assistant that used to work at Green Bay as well. Both of them are working now. Borgonzi is going to pick the players, is what he said, words out of his mouth at today's press conference here in Nashville. Listen, I know what a lot of people are saying, and the Titans don't pay me. I'm not auditioning for like where my man Rich works at the Titans flagship. If I think that the owner sucks, if I think the owner's no good, I'll say the owner's no good. The Cincinnati owner's no good. He's terrible for the Bengals. But Amy Adams Strunk, this is the third general manager in 9 years. I simply think that she really is trying to get it right. She's trying to get the coaching staff right. She's trying to get the scouting right. She reminds me of the general manager or the owner that took over, the latest in the Ford family, who took over about 10 years ago. Look at where the Lions are today versus where they were back in 2008. I think she's paying off a lot of contracts. She's trying to get it right, okay? I commend this woman, actually, for that. And I think they may have their guy bringing in a former general manager assistant there from the Kansas City Chiefs, okay? He mentioned the fact that he everything's pretty much on the table is what he said today. He said, listen, there's a generational talent. We won't pass on a generational talent. And, of course, the NFL Network people rolled with that and assume, and rightfully so, I would agree, that maybe he's talking about drafting Travis Hunter over, knowing that Tennessee needs a quarterback, all right? In other words, he's not taking anything off the table. He also mentioned the fact that they've already – he was hired last week. The press conference was today. He also mentioned the fact that the phone has already started ringing about trading that number one pick. And this article I found here out of Fox Sports just reminded me back in 2016, the Titans had the number one pick when John Robertson first took over. They traded it 2 weeks before the draft to the LA Rams for a haul of netted a trio of all-pro tackle, a right tackle, Jack Conklin. They didn't re-sign because of his injury history, but he was great when he was here and not injured, but he was all-pro at one time. And, of course, Derrick Henry and safety Kevin Byard. That draft helped the Titans sting 6 straight winning seasons and, of course, the AFC Championship back in 2019. That was just 3 years after that draft. I don't think that would be the case here. Let's see how it plays out for the quarterback situation. Of course, they had the number one seed back in 2020, 2021, and he mentioned the fact you can't pass on a generational talent, like I just mentioned. So my thing is that all things are on the table. I said this weeks ago, I would not draft Travis Hunter. He wouldn't be my first option. If I draft Travis Hunter, that tells me that these quarterbacks, Cam Ward, Schroeder Sanders, are simply not top 5 first-rate, first rated top quarterbacks, which tells me they're going to do something else. They're not going to go in next season with Will Levis. Brian Callahan would be foolish to do that. Okay. They're not going to go in next season with Will Levis, which tells me they would, obviously free agency in the start of the new year comes before the draft. That starts in March. They would probably look at maybe getting a Sam Darnold or somebody, for example. And then, you maybe go with Travis Hunter. If you cannot trade this, ideally, if they're really sold that Cam Ward is not the guy and he don't want to show any of his cards, he wants to get every option out there. I still say with the 26 draft and the 27 draft, if the ownership and the organization can be patient there, those picks could be money for Tennessee. Those could be money. You could potentially in 27 get Arch Manning next year. And this is just off the top of head. There's always a player that comes up out of nowhere. Nico could possibly from Tennessee, University of Tennessee, could be a big time prospect. And of course, Arch Manning in